All righty. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. We got another good one for you today. Thanks for waiting for us. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being a part of the show. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all of you being there and waiting. We had a couple of days where we had to go fishing down here in Cabo, run a boat for one of our friends who's kind of under the weather. So that's what's going on down here. People don't know it's showtime, so they're texting me and letting me know that it's showtime. They'll keep on texting me as fast and as much as they possibly can during showtime. Gang, thank you for joining us. I appreciate everybody and everything. I just want to let y'all know that I'm still here and I'm still going to keep doing these shows every day for you. But today we're going to announce all the winners. Today we're announcing all the winners of all of the cases of Baja Jerky that Baja Jerky was nice enough to give away for the month of May. So we're going to go over the winners real quick, and then we'll get into our seminar today, which is about anchoring on spots and how important it is. But real quick, YouTube, Augie Ricotta, you won again. Gang, it's hard to beat Augie. Dino. Dino Ricotta is on every single one of my posts. As fast as I posted on YouTube, he's on there leaving a comment, liking it, saying really cool stuff, always being super positive. And Dino, we can't appreciate you more. So you're going to win the case of Baja Jerky. The guys at Baja Jerky are just amazed by how fast you comment on every post. They said if we had 100 of you, we'd be really having a good time. But I'm just letting you know that they really appreciate you, Dino, and they're going to give you a case of Baja Jerky. So I need you, Dino. I know you're watching over on YouTube right now. I need your address. So send your address to yoursaltwaterguide@yahoo.com. Send me your address and we'll get you out that case of Baja Jerky. Over on Facebook, gang, it's hard to beat Augie. Augie's there every day for me. Every single day, Augie's there. Augie, you're getting that case of Baja Jerky for the Facebook group. Once again, Baja Jerky was amazed at how many positive comments you made on their product and how you're always there. Every time I go live, you're the first one on there and you're there every single time. So, Augie, thank you very much for everything you do. And you send me your address and we will send you out that case. There he is, Augie, right there. Always there. Gang, it's not that hard to win. Just got to be consistent and you got to be there. I mean, the show is every day at 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock Cabo time, 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we give away so much cool stuff every month. Justin, he's a perfect example. Justin won a full charter to go fishing with his family. Now he's one of my buddies. He's one of the main reasons why we got the Marmoset monkey. Justin's always there for me too. Gang, it's super cool to give away stuff to everybody. And then over at Instagram, I know you guys are setting on pins and needles to find out who won. Kush Fishing, you're always there. You're always making positive statements. You're always making positive remarks. So Kush Fishing, you win the case of Baja Jerky. So there you go. And over at TikTok, we just reestablished our account over there. So we don't really have a winner for TikTok, but we will find someone to give the case of Baja Jerky to. Baja Jerky's looking over there at TikTok, and we'll have a name for you in the next couple days. But we just reestablished our account over at TikTok. So we don't have a name for you right now, but there's 3 cases of Baja Jerky going out to 3 lucky winners. And then we're going to announce a new contest. We're going to announce a brand new contest right now if you want to win. I mean, we give away so much stuff on this show. You can absolutely win. It's very simple. You can win. It's simple. Here's how it's going to work this time, gang. Because I'm always giving back. I'm always giving away. This time it's going to be a member of my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com, gang. If you want to win, we're going to give away 2 3/4 day passes for one of the boats at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. You're going to get to go 3 quarter-day fishing out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing with Captain Brian Woolley on the Sum Fund. And we're going to give that away on the 15th to one lucky winner that leaves a fish report at yoursaltwaterguide.com. You got to leave a fish report. We're going to pick the best fish report at yoursaltwaterguide.com, and we're going to give away 3 quarter-day passes for 2 people out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Now, if you own your own private boat, you don't fish out of Dana Wharf, you can give those passes away. All right? But you're going to be a member of my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. And if you're not a member of the website, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, it's a $4.99 a month to become a member of yoursaltwaterguide.com. Over there, we have tons of cool stuff that we're always constantly given. And the big thing is game plans. And we post some phenomenal game plans on Thursdays. And today's no exception. I have a great game plan for everybody that's planning on fishing this weekend. So make sure you check out the website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. Leave a fish report, and on the 15th, we'll give away those 3 quarter-day passes, and then we'll have a brand new contest starting on the 15th. All right? So there you go. That's what's going on here. Guys, if you want, send me your address at yoursaltwaterguide@yahoo.com. All right, here we go. So today we're talking about anchoring on spots and how important it is to be anchored up on the spot. Don't forget Baja Jerky. Those cases are coming to you guys that won. But how important is it to anchor up on spots? It is probably the most important thing when you're going out fishing on your private boat is to learn how to anchor. I talk about it all the time on our game plans. We talk about it day in and day out. Don't forget to leave badges or leave stars while we're doing this show. Let me know you appreciate the show every day that I do this show. Let me know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, yoursaltwaterguide.com, and go over and subscribe to my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. So, gang, why is it so important to anchor? Well, the ocean is basically a giant desert with small little oases every once in a while, and these oases are where the fish hang out. Fish aren't just nilly-willy swimming around the ocean. They're all over the place. So, when you're fishing in Southern California or you're fishing in Mexico or wherever you're fishing, up or down the California coast or in Cabo or in Florida or wherever you are, on a lake, wherever you are, you have to establish yourself on the spot where the fish are living. It's super important to be established on the spot where the fish are living. I hear people tell me all the time, oh, all we do on our boat is drift. And we catch a fish every once in a while. That's crazy, gang. If all you do is drift, you're going to catch a fish every couple of hours when you drift by the fish's house. You've got to establish yourself and anchor up. There's a guy over on my phone that keeps sending messages. He doesn't understand that we're in the middle of a live show. That we've only been doing this for 2.5 years. He'll figure it out eventually. I can't answer you when we're doing live shows. Sorry, sweetie. So look, it's imperative that you anchor on the spots. If we go to the game plans and we talk about white sea bass fishing at the island or white sea bass fishing on the coast, guys are not scoring these big scores of white sea bass drifting across their spot. They are anchored in on the spot. They're increasing the prey density level in the water. That's called chumming. And when you do all that and you're anchored on the spot, all of a sudden the fish come out of their house, which is the spot, and decide to start feeding. All this matters because I talk to a lot of people on my website and all over the social media, and they tell me about their trials and tribulations of not catching fish. And the number one question I always ask them is, well, did you, and I'm not talking giant bluefin tuna fishing offshore or fishing kelp patties offshore. We're talking about fishing spots along the California coast or wherever we're at, fishing the mangroves, wherever. We anchor on all these spots so that we can present our bait properly to the fish so that we can catch them. Now, I'm not Fishing Plastics with Jimmy Decker or Eric Landesfeed. I'm talking about fishing spots where the fish live, anchoring up and presenting your live bait or your fresh dead squid or your cut bait or whatever you're deciding to fish with. But you got to anchor on these spots so that you don't drift by it and then never see that spot again and then drift by another spot a couple hours later. You anchor on the spot if there's current, and then you start the prey density level. You start to throw the cut bait or the live bait in the water as chum to start to get that whole feeding frenzy going behind your boat. And then once you have all that going, you're going to want to make sure you have some Opsin fluorocarbon tied to your line between the braid and the hook, a piece of nice Opsin fluorocarbon, a piece of clear Opsin, because you're anchored on the spot and now you're fly lining a bait. And the key is to make sure that the fish cannot see the line. So if they cannot see the line, they got a better tendency to bite. So I'm going to use a bronze hook. We're not going to tell you what brand of hook because those people aren't involved in the show. So we're going to use a bronze colored hook or a black hook, thin wire for live bait fishing along the coast. And then we're going to attach a piece of fluorocarbon to that, attached to our braid, so that the fish can't see it. And I like to use Opsin fluorocarbon because of the fact that it is clear, and that's going to keep the fish from seeing it. And also the fact that it's abrasion resistant, so that those bigger sea bass aren't going to have a tendency to saw it off with their mouth, or those big bluefin, if you're fishing offshore, aren't going to have a tendency to saw it off with their mouth because of the abrasion resistance in the fluorocarbon. But all these things play into being successful when you're out on the water. You got to anchor on the spot, then you got to present your bait proper so that the fish have an option to eat it or not if it's not tied to a big hunk of monofilament that they can see, where the light's reflecting off the monofilament right down to the chrome plated hook or nickel plated hook so the fish can see it. That's why I'm going to use a black hook, some clear fluorocarbon, present your bait proper, but you got to anchor. You have to anchor on the spots. It's imperative that you're anchored on the spot, and that when you're anchored on the spot, then you start that chumming so that that whole system can get behind the boat. Once you have some blue perch and some calico bass and some jack smelt and some mackerel all behind your boat, all of a sudden that yellowtail and that sea bass comes in, because they're both very curious fish, and they're going to come up behind your boat to see what the hell's going on. And then all of a sudden there's your piece of fluorocarbon with your hook on it with a live bait on it. Wham, they eat that. Now you're taking home a giant white sea bass or a nice yellowtail or a big calico bass or whatever you happen to be fishing for. But all this goes together. It's all super important to make sure that you got the right anchor to anchor on the spot, and you're not using straight chain. But all these things that I'm talking about are all available to you over at yoursaltwaterguide.com. The anchoring system, teach you how to set it up so that you can be successful when you go out fishing on your private boat. All these things matter, and they're all super important in the whole process of fishing and being successful when you go fishing. Now, look at, you got your own private boat. You're going to take your friends out fishing, but you're going to be lazy and you're not going to drop the anchor because you don't like to pull it. Well, you got your friends on the boat now, so you can have them pull the anchor for you. Now you don't have to be lazy. Why do people not anchor? Well, number one is because they're lazy. Number two is because they're scared. They've never dropped the anchor before. They don't know what to do, and they're afraid they're going to lose their anchor on a spot. How do we avoid all that? Well, if you're a member of Your Saltwater Guide, I teach you how to anchor. I teach you how to get your anchor back if you anchored on the rock improper and now it's stuck. I show you how to do that, how to get it unstuck, how to get it off the rocks. All these things come into play on your private boat, and all these things are available to you at yoursaltwaterguide.com. But all these things are super important to keep the machine rolling along so that you can catch fish and have a good day when you're out on your private boat. But the number one thing I believe most people are not doing on their private boat when they go fishing with live bait is they're not anchoring. And that's why they're not being successful. Also, they don't know any spots. So it's hard to anchor on a spot when you don't know any spots. Then a lot of times we'll see them following boats and chasing boats around, fishing for boats because they don't know any spots. Why would you buy your boat and then not know any spots and try to wing it and try to figure it out on your own? Like I see a lot of these guys on social media going, oh, don't join Dave's website. That's silly. Figure it out on your own like I did. Well, that person's lying to you because they didn't figure nothing out on their own. They followed somebody who taught them how to do something. They didn't figure nothing out on their own. I've been doing this for a living for 48 years, and 90% of the stuff that I have in my bag of tricks, I was taught by somebody else that's been doing it longer than me. And then I took those skills and then I honed them a little bit, but I didn't figure any of this stuff out on my own. Why do you want to go out there and try to figure it out on your own? My gosh, the price of fuel alone right now would be enough to scare me to figuring this thing out on my own. I don't have the time or the wherewithal to go out and try to figure this out on my own. So what you want to do is you want to have some type of information, gang. Somebody has to be sharing information with you. If you don't have that person or those people, then join somebody's webs, join something, figure out something, man. Don't go out there, gang, and try to figure this thing out on your own. My God, we don't have the time and we don't have the money. And with the price of fuel today, you don't want to try to figure this thing out on your own. So pay attention. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you, because the things I tell you are absolute gold. Go out there, try to figure this thing out. Don't try to figure it out on your own. Try to figure this thing out so that you can be successful when you go out on your private boat. And super important is anchoring. You've got to anchor on these spots. It's imperative that you drop that anchor so that you have presented your boat presented your bait proper to the fish. And how do we do that? Well, you anchor on the spot, ahead of the spot in the current, so that when you throw your line in the water, your bait goes back to where the fish are. It's imperative, gang. I can't stress this enough. I can go on and on and on about this for hours and hours and hours of how important it is to learn how to anchor on spots. But I don't have to, because I put all this stuff on my website at yoursaltwaterguide.com. Over there now, you can ask me questions. If something doesn't make sense, ask me. I will be more than happy to explain it all to you so that you can be successful on your private boat when you go fishing, or you can be successful on the party boats when you go out on the party boats. So go to yoursaltwaterguide.com. You never, ever have to suck again at fishing unless you're into that. But I will make sure that you don't suck unless you want to suck. That don't follow any of the directions I give you and go out there and try to figure it out on your own. With price of fuel being $7 a gallon, that sounds really ridiculous to me, but I wouldn't try to figure it out on your own. Watch the game plans. This is what I'm talking about for that offshore thing, these live deception daisy chains from Promar. This is what I'm talking about, Ahi Promar. Check that out. Check out Opsin USA, Fish Labs. Got the lures you need. Don't forget BajaJerky.com. Everything works together, just like my whole thing works together to teach you how to be successful on your private boat. So go out there. The trolling motor to set up on spots, that's kind of ridiculous. If you don't have an anchor, then I guess you have to do that. But you would never see me doing that. I'm going to anchor on the spot every time. I don't want that little motor going around all day long. Boy, just to try to stay on the spot in the wind with a trolling motor, you're going to burn your battery up in 10 minutes. All right, gang. Your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen. I'll be with you tomorrow for another good show. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you want to win the 2 3/4 day passes out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, all you got to do is be a member of the website and leave a fish report. And we'll give that away on the 15th of June. Have a great day. Be kind to each other. Turn off the news. They're all lying to you. And I'll be here for you tomorrow at noon, and we'll have another great show.